you go. It's Gospel Sunday on 105.7. Antonio A.J. Johnson here with you. And I told you we were going to be speaking about marriage. And a lot of marriages are going through, especially during a difficult time with the economy. It seems like money causes marriages to go rough real quick. But in the studio with us is none other than he's an author. He's all over the country. I mean, he's been on, you can name, he's been on CNN. He's been on every radio station. He's been in magazines. Ladies and gentlemen, in the studio with us this morning is Stephen James Dixon. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, I appreciate you having me. God bless.
Hey, man, it's so good to have you in here, man. It's time to touch on it real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you've been writing an article, and I saw an article you wrote talking about that actually Christian marriages have a difficult time. And a lot of times you were trying to help us understand so we won't fool ourselves. We think sometimes we get saved or we get,
that it's supposed to be easier.
It makes it easy.
And it's not. It's not. What happened was my book I initially wrote wasn't about or for Christians, but the Christian community started reaching out to me and saying, hey, some of the principles that you talk about are for our Christian community.
Yes.
I went through my book and I figured out that I talked about God 96 different times in my book. While I was referring to God or praying to God, asking God what he's doing with my life, asking for direction, asking for, blessings, things like that. And so what Christians were saying to me was, hey, it's just as difficult for me. So, Stephen, what do you have for me? And so I challenged myself to sit down, get out this good book and study up on relationships and marriages for the Christian community. What I figured out was a lot of the men in the church, women were approaching me saying, hey, I'm getting treated just as bad inside the church as I am by men outside of the church. Mm-hmm. So I want to start talking to men in the church and saying, hey, my principle is that all relationships are either successful or they fail based on the leadership of the man. Okay. So I wanted to challenge men to figure out how to lead their relationship so it can be successful. The article we talked about, marriage is just as difficult for Christians as it is for unbelievers.
Okay. Tell me this. You just made a statement. You said it's on the man. It's his leadership. Yes. A man is sitting here listening going, man, but I'm trying to lead this woman. This woman will not follow me. I mean, she just won't go with my way. She won't do it how I do it. What do you say to that?
I tell men all the time that if your wife doesn't respect you, doesn't follow your leadership, first work on you. Stop worrying about her so much. Be the best man you could be. We got too many men running out there trying to be the best writers, the best video DJs, radio personalities, teachers, actors, lawyers, doctors. Be the best husband. In every counseling session that I have with a couple, the first thing I'm talking to the man about is being the best husband he can be. Be the best. My goal, my principle, whatever I'm doing in my life is to be the best, absolute best husband in the entire world. Same thing with wives. Be the best wife. And I find in relationships, if the man focuses on him first, stop pointing the finger. Stop worrying about what she's doing. Stop going back and forth with her and be the man that God intended for you to be. You'll figure that relationship out and she will follow you.
In the studio with me this morning, Stephen James Dixon. He's an author and we're talking about Christian marriages. Now, when you say you've had some counseling sessions. When you're in the counseling session, do you find that they're trying to basically win with you? Like they're trying to get you to side? How do you handle it?
Absolutely, man. It's funny, like a lot of times with counseling with me is the couples don't get to talk that much. Because what happens when you go to counseling, people will crack up when they hear this, is that they come into counseling not necessarily to get their problem solved, to more vindicate their issue. Like, it's her or it's him. So a lot of times I'm trying to get the man to be quiet or the woman to be quiet so I can explain to them what they need to be doing in their marriage. And one of the first things, especially I love talking to Christian couples, because I'm telling them that you should not be getting a divorce. I don't believe in divorce at all, especially in our Christian community, because I think that the Bible lays out principles, lays out verse after verse after verse as to how to be successful in marriage.
Now, is there ever a time for divorce? I mean, because, some woman is saying, well, I'm in this abusive relationship.
Yes. Yeah, I don't believe in abuse at all. Like, if you're getting abused physically, verbally, emotionally, get out of there. Biblically speaking, the only reason for divorce is adultery. And so if we only get divorced based on abuse and adultery, then I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? But it's too many marriages that are just tired or not working hard enough, don't understand the difficulty and things like that. And God is love. So if you're a Christian, you should know how to work through your marriage.
Stephen James Dixon here with us this morning. And listen, I appreciate you, man. We're going to have to get you back in here at some point, man, because it's a lot we can't even expound on, man. But I tell you what, how can people reach you? And you're going to stay in the studio for a little bit this morning so people can ask you a couple questions off air.
Always, man. StephenJamesDixon.com, Twitter, Stephen J. Dixon, Facebook, Stephen James Dixon. Reach out to me, ask me your questions. Let's talk about Christians, getting married, getting divorced, those types of things. Reach out to me, StephenJamesDixon.com.
All right. Any place they can see you on TV in the future?
all the time, man. You got to check for the website, register on my website so I can give you updates on where I'm going, because I've had different stints on Fox News, on CBS. I'm always somewhere doing something. If you don't see me, I'm in the lab writing another book.
Man, so good to have you in here. He's going to be in the studio for a little bit. 214-787-1057. And you're also going to be on an episode of Shadow Wives.
Yes, Shadow Wives. Y'all got to look for Shadow Wives. Get out there, Google it, search for it. Shadow Wives it's an amazing movement for an internet TV show based out of Dallas. So you got to check for that on the internet.
All right. Hey, man, thanks for hanging out with me, all right?
Yeah.
Stephen James Dixon, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all need to keep up with him, because I'm telling you, he's being a blessing to so many folks.
All right.